The aftermath of World War II.
And the Nazis started falling back.
And the Americans started to rest.
And the Americans won the World War of the century with many other allies.
So we know about America, so let's talk about other countries. World War II was the most devastating conflict in world history, with more than 50 million dead, cities destroyed, and economic and political instability throughout the world. The aftermath of World War II will create new countries, draw new borders, build or rebuild new cities, and promote democracy and communism that will shape a new era known as the Cold War.
We chose this topic because it shows the perspectives of the countries and how they suffered from World War II. Another reason why it relates to the thesis is because the barbarities of World War II only reaffirmed the sentiments of early 20th century internationalists. When they pressed for a bill of human rights for the whole world, which would bind the world economy and wealth.
Evidence that proves that the thesis is correct is that after World War II, the international situation was in shambles. But in 1945, many countries emerged. Some of them were mostly from Africa and Asia. Most of the countries that came back as a whole were from Ghana and Kenya. Some of the other countries that came back from hiding were Indonesia and Vietnam.
The thesis shows that World War II was one of the most destructive and devastating wars. According to the history article, more than 30 countries took part, lasted for 6 years with a bloody fight. Another piece of evidence that supports my thesis is that lots of different countries had less food because their crops were bombed or taken. Also, on November 1942, winter, the German troops food and medical supplies ended, and so did the German troops. Finally, the Allies demolished the Axis power of Nazi Germany, Japan, and Italy in 1945. This evidence helps with the thesis because it shows how Nazi Germany got invaded and then lots of countries started helping the Jews.
Some evidence that proves that our thesis is correct is that when the conflict resulted that many countries were damaged due to several reasons, economic results, and over 30 million resulted in death or very serious injuries. The countries that resulted in damage and political changes are Soviet Union, China, Poland, Germany, and lastly Yugoslavia. Also, about 60 to 80 million people died during World War II. 6 million Jews died during the war. Civilians had 50 to 55 million deaths, while military had about 21 to 25 million. Another evidence that helps prove that our thesis is correct is that during World War II was very devastating and a very destructive war because of the deaths and the countries destroyed. But after the buildings and people were helped to get help and be put into places to be taken care of.
When the crisis of the war came to an end, the countries that were badly hurt by Germany and Japan were helped rebuild and make new borders between new countries. Also, the countries that got took over got help from America to rebuild cities, help their livestock, and rebuild their economic infrastructure. The countries that got destroyed got help by the surrounding countries around them to help rebuild and make stability to their government. Another thing is that after the World War, George C. Marshall helped by providing significant financial, statistic, and technical assistance with Europe. Another thing is that America helped significantly throughout the World War.